What's up everyone, my name's Alpha and today we're back for another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon X and we're doing something really crazy today. So we're on Pokemon X Hardcore Nuzlocke, obviously. Today we're going to try to beat the game using only Diantha'S team. No, wait, obviously. You could beat the game with Diantha'S team, obviously. But we want to make it even more difficult. I was looking on Wikipedia or Pokepedia and I saw Megastars. Is it Megastars or Mezastars? Mezastars is like an arcade game. And they have teams on this, and they have Pokemon teams, and I'm like, what is this? Possibly the worst idea I ever had. So these teams of these champions and these characters of the Pokemon franchises have teams they built, and they only have one or two moves, and I thought it was gonna be a fun idea to beat the game trying to use the Mezastar team. So yeah, as you can see on screen right now, that it's gonna be interesting. They're really good Pokemon. I think you could beat the game with all four of these: Gourgeist, Gardevoir, Hawlucha, and Goodra on its own, obviously. However, you only have one move. If I came across like a dark type with Gardevoir, it's not working. I can't use anything. If I find a ghost type against Hawlucha, it's not working. So I have to be very careful how I plan through the fights. And I also have the shiny hunt. So on screen right now are the rules. I can only catch one Pokemon per route. They must be on Diantha'S Mezastar team, and they must be shiny as well. On top of that, I have to use their moveset, so only use one move, and I'm gonna have Splash as a filler move. So you can see, I'm not trying to cheat, I'm not using some other moves on the side. Splash is the only moves on the side. I can't really use anything. If any of my Pokemon faints, I can't use them ever again. So that's I gotta take care of them, even though they only have one move. And there's also gonna be a level cap, which is gonna be the highest level in each gym leader's team. And also, you know, all the basic stuff. No items inside of battle. You can use hell items, but you can't use bag items like potions and elixirs like that in the battle, of course. And then from there, you have to play in set mode. Very difficult. But on top of that, a fun rule: each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thanks so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after your future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while I was down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. So people don't like me actually giving myself a starter Pokemon to use, so I decided to go through the first part of the game. We had to beat the first gym leader, which isn't too difficult. You know, it's not the biggest struggle in the world. So we're going to just clear through the first gym leader, blah blah blah, go on into Route 4, and then finally start shiny hunting out here for our very first shiny Pokemon. So the first Pokemon that's available on our team is going to be Routes. And yeah, there's a lot of things that's going on. So firstly, we shiny hunt for Routes. It takes a little bit because Routes is really annoying, but we found ourselves a shiny Routes added to our team and stuff. It's synchronized Mao nature, which is kind of annoying, so it's gonna synchronize the Pokemon later on. But from there, we gotta start EV training. You know, why am I trying to EV train? I want to EV train to maximize my HP stat. So the reason for that, I could reset it later on. I have reset bags to reset my EVs. But moving on, I'm able to just get myself maximum HP. And then also going ahead into Route 5, I believe. I think Route 5 or Route 7. One of those routes, there's a Snorlax. You want to catch the Snorlax and strip away its Citrus Berry, because we're going to need that as well. So you might be wondering why I'm trying to stack on my HP stat. There's a reason why. So there's actually no dark type Pokemon, so using Psychic on my Routes and Curlia isn't too difficult at all. It's pretty strong for the early game, especially when it evolves to Curlia. It's very broken. However, there is only one trainer on an entire route that has one dark type Pokemon that we can actually kill at all, and it's this trainer right here with a Houndour. This Team Flare member is the bane of my existence. The only reason I could get through him is actually maxing out at level 25, which is very close to the level cap, of course, and then going for struggles against the Houndour. And with enough attack EVs, I'm able to two-shot the Houndour and then get down to about my Citrus Berry, which luckily I don't get to because it went for Howl. And from there, I can activate my Citrus Berry against the Zubat. I take an Astonish, which actually works out, and from there, struggle again to knock out the Zubat. Now, technically, struggle isn't a move that's not available in their Mezastar moveset, but struggle is not really a move. It's more like a last-ditch effort of attacking. So technically, it's not bending the rules. I'm not using a different move. I just ran out of PP, quote unquote. So, you know, that just happens, you know. We cleared through the hardest part of the game, possibly, especially the early part of the game. So from there, our rival will actually help us with the next dark type Pokemon. So we're able to clear through them pretty easily from there. And then once we get through Glittering Cave, we go into Route 10 and then start shiny hunting out here. And then finally, we could get a second Pokemon, which will actually alleviate the pressure and the problems we have, which was shiny hunt for a shiny Hawlucha, which is the only Pokemon available in this route from Diantha'S team. We catch it, lucky enough, we can't actually weaken it, so we catch it in the first ball. Hawlucha only has high jump kick as a move. It balanced out, so we have psychic and fighting type. There's no Pokemon that will actually block us off from attacking unless there is a dark and ghost type Pokemon that we come across. Lucky enough, there is no Sableye or Spiritomb on our journey, so we don't have to worry about that. As we move on, face off against Grant. Grant's gonna be the second gym leader in the game. It's gonna be pretty easy. You could probably imagine. I have Hawlucha with high jump kick. Let's see how fast this lasted. I actually spent more time on the loading screen than facing off against him. So maybe the high jump kick and knock out the Mora in one shot. His next one will be a Tyrant, high jump kick him and knock him out. So we end up beating down Grant. And yeah, the game is freezing a lot. I'm on my new PC and it's supposed to be way better than my old one, but I think I don't have the settings correct. So if you guys do see anything different or anything like broken or like not the same as previous, let me know. I'll try to fix it for the next time. One thing with high jump kick is that it can miss and it could be very troublesome. So, you know, if I miss at the wrong time, I could just lose Hawlucha. So in this fight against Serena with the Lucarios, could have lost my Hawlucha, but lucky enough I didn't, and I'm able to evolve my Curlier into a Gardevoir in Reflection Caves. A lot less pressure on Hawlucha to carry my team. As from there, we're gonna move on, and this is how we have to beat our rival. We got to Psychic down the Meowstic, switch out, high jump kick, and then switch out again, and it gets super annoying, but eventually we'll get used to it. From there, we move on and face off against Karina, the third gym leader in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against you using my Gardevoir. Ironically, the gym fights are the easiest part of the game, so we're just Psychic into the Mienfoo, Psychic into the Machoke, and then Psychic into Hawlucha to easily beat him down. And then from there, we can move on into Megastone Tower, which we get ourselves a Lucario, which I thought was pretty fair if I gave myself the Megastone for Gardevoir, since, you know, I only have Psychic, so it doesn't really matter. From there, I also get some Incense for us, which will really help us kind of later on. But from there, we're gonna move on and face off against the fourth gym leader in the game. We're gonna face off against Ramos. We're gonna start the battle off against Ramos using my Mega Gardevoir, which is kind of fun. Mega Evolve goes for Psychic, get Leech Seeded, which is not really fun. Also got outspeeded by the Jumpluff. I don't think I reset my EVs at this point. So from there, we're to Psychic and one shot the Jumpluff at least. And then from there, his next move will be a Go-Go. I could have switched out, but I decided to stay in. Go for 2 Psychics to knock out the Go-Go, and his final opponent will be a Weeping Bell. Go for a Psychic to knock him out. As we beat down Ramos, get ourselves the 4th gym badge in the game. Move out into the Power Plant, which isn't too difficult as well. Then face out against Clement. Clement's gonna be the 5th gym leader in the game. He's a Electric type gym leader. He's gonna start the battle off against us using an Amoga. I used my trusty Gardevoir because I don't trust my Hawlucha to use high jump kick in battles anymore. I started missing too many. One shot into the Amoga and forgot to Mega Evolve. And against the Magneton, it works out for us as we're able to go for a Psychic and then dodge a Mirror Shot. So we're to survive and then Psychic to knock out the Magneton. And his final opponent will be a Healerless, which I go for a Psychic. Doesn't one-shot him, but I made a 2-shot into him and he's gonna waste all his Hyper Potions. He has $2,400 there, and we're to beat him down. We end up beating down Clement. Moving on, going to Route 14, we beat down a rival once again. Super annoying way to face off against a rival, but eventually we do. And finally, we can have access to our next team member. We start shiny hunting out in Route 14 in the rain, and it doesn't need a rain, but you know, it's just nice to have the rain. We start shiny hunting out here for our next Pokemon, which actually turns out to be a pretty fast hunt as we get ourselves a shiny Goomy. So we catch us a shiny Goomy, we're gonna add it to our team. Eventually, yeah, there we go. Shiny Goomy on the team. Unfortunately, Goomy's not good until we fully evolve it, so it's gonna be in my back pocket, but at least we have something to stop Sableyes if they ever happen. From there, we're gonna face off against Valerie next, the 6th gym leader in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against her using my Hawlucha, ironically, but Hawlucha is here just for the Mawile, as we're gonna high jump kick into the Mawile. Lucky enough, I survive a crunch against him and I don't miss my high jump kicks. So from there, we're able to knock out the Mawile. Her next opponent will be a Mr. Mime, which obviously I don't trust this thing, so I go out to my Gardevoir. I'm able to Psychic into him, but unfortunately it does a lot of damage with Dazzling Gleam, so I gotta be very careful. It's gonna get really annoying, but luckily I'm able to chip him down to low HP and then knock him out with a Psychic. And the final opponent will be Sylveon, which I go for a Psychic, and it does over half and also load a special defense. I take a Dazzling Gleam pretty confidently, and then a Psychic would knock him out. So we're able to knock out Valerie, and yeah, things are looking good for us. You know, the battles are getting a little easier. We head into Route 16, I believe, and then we could fight. And then finally, we start shiny hunting out here for our next shiny Pokemon, which is going to be a shiny Pumpkaboo. We get ourselves a large form, which is kind of cool. It's actually very cute when it's a shiny too. So we catch ourselves a Pumpkaboo. We're going to actually evolve it off screen because it's a link evolution. So we evolve it off screen. We get ourselves a Gourgeist, and from there we can face off against a rival at N-Star City, which isn't too difficult. And then from there, we have access into the gym. We're going to face off against Olympia next. Olympia is the 7th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Gardevoir. Now I go for a Mega Evolution, and this actually works out pretty well. Mega Gardevoir is pretty strong. I made a 2-shot into the Sigilyph with Psychic, and then from there her next opponent will be a Meowstic. Unfortunately, I do get kind of messed with Shadow Ball. Does a lot of damage, and then I gotta switch out to my Sliggoo. This thing also gets special defense drops, kind of annoying, but Dragon Pulse, I lucked through and I got a crit with it to knock him out. So basically full HP with a crit knocks out the Meowstic. And then from there, her next opponent will be a Slowking, which I decided to switch out into my Gourgeist. And Gourgeist does has Razor Leaf as her only move, so I made a Razor Leaf and lucky enough get another crit to knock out the Slowking. So we'll take that as we end up beating down Olympia. Get ourselves the 7th gym bench in the game, get our level cap all the way to 59, and then evolve our Sliggoo into a Goodra, which honestly we have to take. And then we can make our way into the Team Flare Fortress. We go through the Team Flare in the cafe and also the secret hideout in Geosyn's Town. We do have a rival for the dark type Pokemons in here for, I mean, we don't need to worry about it, but our rival has the dark type Pokemon for us. And then from there we can move on and catch Xerneas. We don't add Xerneas to our team. That's why we have some filler Pokemons. And then from there we can face out against Lysander. Lysander is going to be the final Team Flare fight in the game. So we're going to start the battle off against him using my Gardevoir. Gardevoir is able to go for a Psychic and knock out the Mienshao. His next opponent will be a Honchkrow, which is kind of annoying. So I go out to my Goodra. Goodra does not take damage pretty easy, so it's gonna get down to low HP. Lucky enough, 2 Dragon Pulse would knock out the Honchkrow for us, as his next opponent would be a Pyro, which I decided to stay in. I was pretty confident Dragon Pulse would knock him out in 2 shots, and I could survive all his moves, barring like, I don't know, a crit or something. So we were to knock out the Pyro, and the reason why I want to do that is when he sends out his Gyarados, he's gonna intimidate into my Goodra. He can go for an Outrage, so I go out to my Gardevoir to block the Outrage, and then force him to go for an Iron Head as I go out to my Hawlucha, and Hawlucha is able to survive pretty well. From there, I'm able to go for a High Jump Kick, and it works out as I'm able to High Jump Kick, not miss. I even crit it, which I don't think I needed to do, but I'm able to crit the Mega Gyarados and end up knocking out Lysander, so we avoided any deaths there. And we also face off against our rivals on the bridge, which, you know, again, nothing really useful at all. We're gonna move out and face off against the 8th gym leader in the game next. We're gonna face out against Wolfric. Wolfric's gonna be the ice type gym leader, and we're gonna start the battle off against his Abomasnow using my Gardevoir. Gardevoir is able to go for a Mega Evolution and a Psychic into the Abomasnow, which, you know, 2 shots into him, which is nice. So we're able to 2-shot into the Abomasnow and then actually waste all his full restores, so we'll take that. End up knocking out the Abomasnow, as his next opponent will be a Cragno. I go for a Psychic. I do get Confuse Ray, which is a little annoying. I break through Confusion, Psych to knock out the Cragno, as his next opponent will be an Avlock, which I stayed in. Breakthrough Confusion, Psych to knock him out in 1 shot, and we end up beating down Wolfric. So pretty easy for us. As we make our way into the Elite Four next, we clear through Victory Road. You know, nothing too special there, and we're gonna make our way into the Elite Four. Now this place I was pretty worried about, I'm not gonna lie. I've been using Gardevoir a lot. The safest option is the strongest option, and yeah, that's the motto it's been for the entire video. And that's not gonna change as we head into our first Elite Four chamber against Drasna. I think Drasna was probably the easiest fight I could think of, so I want to make sure I could get through all the fights and then go into the hardest one. So we'll start the battle off against Drasna using my Gardevoir. Gardevoir is able to go for a Psychic against her Dragolich and 1-shot it. Her next opponent after that will be an Altaria, which I go for a Psychic, which will 2-shot him, which is going to be great because she goes for a Cotton Guard, so it doesn't matter at all. So we 2-shot into the Altaria, as her next opponent will be a Northern, which I go for a Psychic. It's going to Air Slash me, do like no damage, and then from there I can 2-shot into the Northern and knock him out. Her final opponent will be a Druddigon, which I go for a Psychic, and yeah, 2-shot into him, survive a chip away, which is good for us. And then we can 2-shot the Druddigon, knock out Drasna, and from there we can move on. We're going to face off against Malva next. Malva is going to be the Fire type Elite Four member. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Goodra, just because this Pyro can get a little annoying. So from there, I can Dragon Pulse into the Pyro, and then from there, her next opponent will be a Talonflame. This thing does a lot of damage. Brave Bird almost 2 shots into me, so we gotta be very careful as a Dragon Pulse into him would not knock him out. Go out into my Gardevoir next, and Gardevoir just barely takes a Brave Bird. Lucky enough, it outspeeds him, so I'm able to go for a Psychic and then knock out the Talonflame, as it actually full restored. So actually not too sure if it outspeed, but I made a Psychic and knock out the Talonflame. From there, she can switch out to her Chandelier, which I'm able to go for a Psychic to knock out, and her final opponent will be a Torkoal, which I go for 1 more Psychic to knock him out. So we end up beating down Malva, and it's just a Psychic spam, honestly. From there, we're going to move on and face off against Sealbrick next. Sealbrick's going to be the Water type Elite Four member. We're going to start the battle off against him using a reliable Gardevoir. Gardevoir is going to Psychic 1-shot the Clawitzer without taking damage. His next Pokemon will be a Gyarados, which I 2-shot with Psychic. Survive a Waterfall, which is nice, as I'm able to Psychic twice into the Gyarados. As his next Pokemon after that will be a Barbarical. I go out to my Gourgeist, which would dodge a Stone Edge, and then Razor Leaf to 1-shot into the Barbarical. As the next and final Pokemon will be a Starmie, which I go for a Razor Leaf and 2-shot into him, as he just wastes two full restores actually, and then we're able to Razor Leaf and knock him out pretty easily. So we end up being down 3 Elite Four members. Here comes the challenge though. Steel type Elite Four member Wingstrom is going to be super annoying. So we're going to start the battle off against Wingstrom using my Hawlucha. Now I thought I could one-shot him with High Jump Kick. I was wrong. So High Jump Kick does not knock out the Klefki. Take a massive Dazzling Gleam. I'm like, oh, please don't miss. He's getting full restore twice with his Klefki. So he runs out of full restores pretty early. So it actually works out for us as we knock out his Klefki. From there, his next one will be a Probopass with Discharge, so I gotta switch out my Hawlucha into my Gourgeist. I want to chip him down just so enough that I could just switch out and then knock him out with like Goodra or something. So works out. I get him down to half HP. I'm just gonna unfortunately sack my Gourgeist, so it's my first death. Go out to my Hawlucha, which hopefully lands a High Jump Kick, as it does. I'm able to knock out the Probopass, and then from there, his next one will be a Scizor. I decided to see how much damage I can do, and it works out pretty well. I mean, it's High Jump Kick, knock him to red HP, and then survive an Iron Head out of everything. I'm like, oh, now it's gonna Bullet Punch me, so I gotta go out to my Goodra. I'm gonna Dragon Pulse into him, which will outspeed and knock him out. Take a little damage to the Bullet Punch, but that's okay. From there, his final Pokemon will be an Aegislash, and I'm like, maybe I could do some chip damage with Dragon Pulse. It actually works out pretty well for us, as Iron Head actually misses us, so I'm like, okay. Next time it goes to Sword mode, it's going to try to hit me. It's going to knock me down to low HP. I'm not going to die to it, so it works out. It's going to Iron Head into me, knocking me down to low HP. Then I'm going to sack my Hawlucha, unfortunately, so I got to sack my Hawlucha. Which, thinking back, was that the play? I don't know if that was the play or not. I'll get to that in a little bit, but I sack my Hawlucha, go out to my Gardevoir, go for a Mega Evolution and Psychic to knock him out, so works out for us that way. But thinking back, I end up losing this challenge. A little bit of spoiler. At the end of the challenge, we lost against Diantha. You know, unfortunately, we couldn't get enough damage against her Mega Gardevoir. I got to her last Pokemon on my last Pokemon, but it didn't work out. We ended up losing against Diantha. So from there, I just restarted because I want to see if I could do it. Obviously, on my second attempt against Diantha, I started using my Goodra to start the battle, and I'm able to Dragon Pulse into the Hawlucha twice. Use up his full restores, which is actually really important. So waste her full restores, and then from there you can switch out into her Auroras. I go out to my Gardevoir, Mega Evolve. I crit the Auroras through the light screens to knock them out. From there you can switch out into her Gourgeist, which I 2-shot through the light screen, which is impressive. From there, her next Pokemon will be a Tyrantrum, which I decided to switch out into my Goodra, which it goes for Crunch. I survive it, and then Dragon Pulse to knock out a Tyrantrum. Her next Pokemon will be her own Goodra, which I 2-shot into him with my own Goodra. And her final Pokemon will be that Mega Gardevoir, which would knock out my Goodra, go out to my own Mega Gardevoir, and from there I'm able to get a Psychic off against him, lower the special defense of the Gardevoir, and then from there I crit him with another Psychic, and I can 2-shot into the Mega Gardevoir with mine, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. This is the second attempt I got it. Oh my god. And I was thinking back, I was like, maybe, what if I didn't actually sack Hawlucha? I sacked Goodra. I wasn't thinking of it at the time. I was thinking Hawlucha was going to be the sack as soon as it went down to low HP against the Scizor. I'm like, I'm just going to sack it against the Aegislash and just bait out the Sword mode and go out to my Gardevoir. But if I sack my Goodra, would I have better odds? I don't know, because I still need to beat Hawlucha. Goodra was really good in taking hits against the Hawlucha and just not getting damage on my Gardevoir. But Hawlucha would actually kill so many things on her team, and it would have done a lot of damage to her Mega Gardevoir. It's really hard to tell. I don't know. I think it was a lost cause because I'm basically trying to beat the game with 4 moves, like on 4 different Pokemon. So it was possible. I did do it technically. If you didn't do it on Nuzlocke rules, but I couldn't complete it. I didn't want to redo it because it was such a long challenge anyways. I got to the end and lost, so I decided just to post it anyways. I hope you guys all enjoyed my failure and into this hardcore Nuzlocke. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name has been Alpha, and I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.